Juanita Olguin, Senior Director, Product Managing for Coveo. She's been in productivity, digital workspace, content management space for the last decade. She worked with Xerox. She was recognized as an outstanding alumni by the Hispanic Business Students Association at Arizona State University. So please welcome Juanita.
Thank you. Okay, I'm like, where are the slides? Do I look over here? All right, I'll try to be somewhere in between here just so I can see, because I don't see the slides and I don't want to keep looking this way. But good morning, everyone. So nice to see you. It has been a long week, especially for us that try to maximize every night that we have. Thank you for having me again this year. I did speak last year, so it wasn't that bad that you guys allowed me to come back. I have to say it has been a great week, especially for us because we have so many customers that are in the room. We thank you, we appreciate you, and honestly, we're learning from you, and you're helping us push the technology as well. For those of you that don't know about Coveo, we are, I would typically say, an enterprise search platform, but today it really is AI search platform, and you'll learn why in just a few minutes. As a product marketer, my job is to work with our product team, launch new products, hear from our customers, come to cool events like this, but also one of my favorite parts of my job is that I get to spend time putting myself in your shoes. And I really thought about what I wanted to say today. I didn't want to pitch Coveo at you. I wanted to hear what you were talking about throughout this week. So I settled on this presentation. And I wanted to start with the question, which was kind of funny because it ties to the last presentation a bit. And the question is, do you feel vindicated? Do you feel vindicated as knowledge managers based on what has happened over this last year and a half? And I'll go through that with you here. What has happened in this last year and a half? Of course, ChatGPT and generative AI. And we saw stats from many companies. McKinsey in particular noted the tremendous potential that we could expect from deploying generative AI in our environments. They predicted somewhere between $2 to $4 trillion in productivity savings, which is really impressive. Fast forward, just a few months later, this is now February, March, there were all these headlines about the concerns over the data quality for AI, the one statement we heard all week, garbage in, garbage out, and really saying, if you might think you're AI ready, but really at the bottom of that is being data and knowledge ready. Fast forward again, just a few months later, and we have more headlines, but this time these headlines are around questioning whether it's going to pay off. Are these investments going to pay off? Are we going to get that value? And these are valid questions, and this is why I ask you all, do you feel vindicated? I feel vindicated for you because at the bottom of all of this is what you do, what we do day in and day out. The reason why there's questions about whether this is going to work is because it's not easy. And those of you that do this know that it is not easy to put intelligent systems in place, to get AI to work. And why? I would say there's a lot here, and I'll try to unpack it during this presentation. But one thing that I think has also happened is there's been so many pop-up shops, pop-up companies. Anyone can show you a nice demo. Now, putting that thing into production without a Rube Goldberg machine, one of my favorite things ever, in the background, the duct tape and all that, that's not going to work, especially not for enterprise environments. And truly, I had some people come to me at the booth, and they were asking, why are you, they didn't mean it this way, but they were like, why are you here, Coveo? What is a search company doing here? And my response was, well, first it was a surprising question. I'm like, we belong here. But also, I was like, for us, search, knowledge, and AI, they go together, and they work together, and they help one another. That is the reality today. I'm sure we've all seen this, the DIKW model, which is really around how data, the progression of data into useful information and valuable insights. This is a model that's been around for a long time. I just decided to supplement that or change that a little bit to say, yes, at the most baseline level, of course, is your data. Then you have knowledge, then comes search, then comes AI, and on top of that, GenAI. These things really do work in that, I would say, that kind of hierarchy. I almost gave you a formula with the like greater than, less than, but again, don't want to put crazy formulas here because we don't want to make this complicated. And again, if you're thinking like why search or like why are we here? Got to quote Dan from Organon, who you heard from this week. Love his perspective on a lot of things, but we did a webinar recently and he literally said AI is just a glorified search engine. It kind of is, and I'm going to break it down for you. Let's look underneath the search engine. There's a lot of text on there, but I promise you it's important. So as I said, we think of enterprise search, but today it really is AI search. You need a unified hybrid index that can do keyword search, semantic search, vector search. You need the ability to connect to any enterprise application that you have out there today, right? We have so many applications. How are you centralizing that and standardizing that to make it searchable in a friendly manner? You need extensive ranking and filtering factors. We have over 17 that are there in that underlying search platform. You need secure indexing. I heard that throughout this week. Can you securely index? Are you taking my access controls? Yes. Thesaurus, stopgap rules, those things, you all have your domain expertise. I know you have your acronyms. You're probably acronym dictionary. When I was at Xerox, we had so many acronyms. Analytics, key piece. People are asking, like, how do I get started? Do I need a taxonomy? Do I need an ontology? Like, I'm going to say you don't need those to get started because shouldn't you kind of understand what people are looking for in the first place? And analytics are there to help you do that. You need flexible UI options, right? Again, you have thousands of systems. Maybe your intranet's the main one. Maybe it's Salesforce. Maybe it's a chatbot. How can you use this intelligent search and AI across any UI, right? And making this usable and centralizing the enterprise. You also need the ability to refresh content and data, right? If you're in a fast-paced business, which most of us are, things are changing regularly, so you need that ability to refresh and have the latest and greatest information. Business rules to boost or feature. Let's say you want to run a campaign or a promotion internally and surface the best results. That will help you as well. Behavioral AI models, which I'll get into soon too. The world is not about GenAI only. There's personalization that also exists so that you are taking your user or your employer customers' context into play to be able to give them the best information. So these are just a few of the things that I would say go into today's modern search platforms, AI search platforms. And for us, truly, GenAI is an evolution, not a revolution. Last year, I actually spoke about 11 plus AI models that we have today, purpose-built for that knowledge search, buyer journey, discovery. So it goes beyond GenAI. And I think it's really, we're at a point where we are reframing search, and I was talking to some people today about how, search really is the heart of your customer experience. It is that intent box. It is the way you're listening. It is the way users are engaging with you. It's how they trust you. And what I'll just show here, I'll build this out. Everything that you see here are mostly different types of AI models that go into that modern search experience. And we know it mostly by, a regular search results page, but imagine that you can have some of these components in your chatbot or within other applications that are key to your users. There's a lot of different models that exist to help with that entire buyer journey and knowledge discovery that's needed. And if you're curious about those other models, we're happy to send you the information. So it was titled GenAI ROI, so I had to talk about some ROI. Over the last year, we did launch one of our products, Generative Answering. It's a managed solution. You heard from Dan this week and others on this. Here are just a few of our public case studies, including Xero, which is a New Zealand cloud-based accounting software firm, F5 Networks, Forcepoint, SAP Concur. What is interesting about these is I think they all actually use Salesforce to some degree, whether it's Salesforce Experience Cloud to power their like portals or perhaps on the Service Cloud agent end. But also these are very much customer-facing implementations of generative answering. And for some, it's their tax information, right? And so I noticed that there's hesitation sometimes to like use this stuff on publicly facing sites or information. But companies are doing it today. They're not waiting because they do want to get that value. Users do expect this type of technology and experience. And I'm sorry if it's a little fuzzy, but you'll see, again, generative answering in practice on these sites, which you can actually visit yourself. You can go to Xero Support Central. Here, I think they're asking about updating payment details. They were able to increase self-service success by 20%. What does that mean? That means that those users are not going to the contact center. So that's a pretty significant savings. Dan, if you're in the room, you showed this week as well. Using, again, generative answering for more internal portals to help users get answers to what they need. And we'll work on the ROI side of the house, too. And then lastly, SAP Concur. I'm sure many of you use SAP Concur. We do for like our expense management and all of that. They recently told us that their case volume they were able to reduce it by 30% and also reduce their cost to serve by 8 million euros from using generative answering. Now this is public, on record. If you want to learn more, again, we're happy to connect them with you. So there is potential here, but I think it's only if you do it the right way. And so I have grossly summarized how they did it, just because I think it's easier to take these in a few points. I think the first is, and hopefully you've heard this week, is to be very selective about what you're feeding GenAI. You don't need to send everything. You shouldn't send everything. And for other companies, there's volume limits. There's a lot to be mindful of. So you want to just send that valuable, critical information that's going to be useful to your end users. They also did A/B testing. So again, with the modern search platform, you can run certain searches through an experience without GenAI, and you can do it with to see what is the outcome, what's the performance, how is it doing. Leishan, I'm going to point you out by following SEO 101 best practices. I think sometimes we think we have to do a lot of work to get this ready, but it's some of the basics. Just write well, have titles, do tags. It's not super crazy, and this is what helps, again, the machines learn and get better. By not waiting for the perfect content taxonomies, et cetera, search really can be used to see what people are looking for and to guide what you're then creating. Having tailored search hubs, so that means, again, there's lots of content and different users. You can have a search hub and portal for each of those users and the content that's specific to them, so you're not like muddying the water and making it the end-all be-all. Having a feedback loop, of course. And then I put partnering with leaders in AI search. Again, you don't have to do this all on your own. You don't have to build all the component tree. Solutions exist out there. And I will just reiterate this again. Generative answering, GenAI, is not the only solution. It is one of several search techniques that are out there. You still need that keyword search. I heard you guys talk about people searching policy numbers, right? Not even words, they're searching by numbers. You need a way to recommend content, so not have people search all the time. How are you recommending things to them based off of who they are and what they've interacted with? And if you do these things, in a holistic way, again, and not try to build all this componentry yourself, it should be really easy to use generative answering and other AI across the organization. And we have countless customers that are doing this today. They have it within their applications, so their SaaS-based applications. They have it on their website, on their intranet, in their chatbots, within a case deflection flow. So if people are coming to submit a case, they're using it there as well as within a commerce perspective. So if you're looking for a product and the ingredients are important to you, again, think about how generative answering can expose all of that in a very useful way. So I don't even know if I did that on time. I hope I did, but my key points to you are, you should feel vindicated for the work that you are doing every day. It really is the baseline and foundation to making search AI and generative AI work. Also, you're not alone. You have, first of all, a room full of amazing people, community, as Cindy and Kim were saying before. AI search is here to help you. Do not discount this thing. Like, it is now more mature than maybe your previous experiences, and I know a lot of you search practitioners probably have bad experiences of search over the years. You know, we're beyond that. And I'm going to quote Dan again, you know, think of search as a mirror, a way to see what's being surfaced, like, and that means what's being managed or not within the organization. Use search as a mirror, because GenAI is going to be a fun house mirror, really magnifying those issues. And I'm going to end by saying you don't need a Rube Goldberg machine, meaning you don't need to build little componentry, you don't need to duct tape it, you don't need to customize it. There are modern solutions out there that you can use. So we do have a data cleaning best practices ebook. Again, Leishan, this is inspired by your work as well within Vanguard. So a lot more tips for you to learn there. I hope I've been able to share some new perspectives with you. Thank you again, and enjoy the rest of the day.